the financials. We identified some of the players like for Colgate, they have already they are into retails, and so malls, modern trade. This is normal for them. But we highlighted some of the major points that a tie up with five-star hotel. This is the new proposal that we came up. Okay, and then another proposal was online shopping. We do not have any dedicated platform for Colgate, so they mainly sell through Flipkart or Amazon. So this is what ITC has done recently. Last year they came up with their own platform for these consumables, right? And the last point was the promotion. So we use the digital marketing, strategic placement of ads on YouTube, precision marketing, cross bundling. So this is just a format of proposing your idea, right? Moving ahead. So after all the work that you have done, it is very important to give the execution roadmap to the companies. So whatever ideas you have proposed, it is very important to segregate them into long term and short term, and along with them, if you can propose the milestones that will you will be tracking over a period of, say, let's say 1 year and 2 year, and then over a longer horizon. Last and I think you guys all will appreciate that whatever solution we propose, it is not going to be a what do you say, a very big idea, or it does not have any challenge. So most of the problem solutions that we propose, it has somehow inherently some challenges that are there, and we need to identify them. So as to this helps in apprising the judges that you have thought through the process and what could be the possible challenges in adoption of that idea. And it is very important to highlight, and trust me, for our solutions we used to have a slide over this for all the competition, and most of the competition judges actually appreciated this idea of identifying the challenges. So even if some company thinks of identifying goes on and applying implementing your idea, so it is very important to have a few ideas in terms of what would be the challenges. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's all from my side. I think, yeah, I'll ask Ayushman to take on and take you through the. So this is what I have given a general overview, but our idea, our initiative is that we need to have case to case, domain to domain workshops, and that is why. If you go through the workshop of Azure Lime, you will come to know how we can deal with different competitions while keeping all these points in our mind,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So thank you so much, Amir, for giving a brief introduction about how to actually go about case competitions. And I'm sure, given your experience in case competitions, so students would have gotten a brief idea of how to ace multiple domain competitions. So yeah, thank you so much. And I think I'll now discuss about HUL Lime. Uh, yeah. So Amir, so Amir, are you taking it forward, or should I just move ahead?
You please go ahead
Okay,
with
okay,
the
sure,
line
sure.
presentation.
Yeah, sure. So, guys, there is just a disclaimer that we want to mention here. So, we conducted HUL Limes workshop last weekend as well, and the workshop was actually of 2.5 hours long, and we just discussed two rounds, like the campus round and the semi finale. So, given the time constraint that we have, obviously, we'll try to cover as much as possible. The idea is you all get a brief the idea of how HUL Lime is different when you have to approach their case problem. I'll quickly present my screen so that you guys can see the presentation as well. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Ayushman, your screen is visible.
Okay, okay, perfect.
But I think it is, yeah, it is visible now.
Yeah, so you can see my window, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Go ahead.
great, great. So the format today would be that initially we'll be discussing about HUL Lime 11, for which we could actually go to the nationals, and then we'll move ahead with HUL Lime 12 and what can be done this year. So for campus round, okay, yeah, just a minute. Yeah. Okay. So this was the this was the case that was given to us, and I do not want to focus much
Aishman,
upon. Yeah.
just a pointer. You can press Control L and you can take it on full screen mode.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Control L. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see now?
Yeah. Yeah. You can increase it. Control plus, or just zoom in. You'll be able to
Yeah.
increase the
Sure. Sure.
size. Yeah.
Now is it visible?
Yeah. Absolutely. You can increase the size further.
Acha, okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah. So the idea is that we do not want to give a very detailed analysis today for last year's presentation because this year the case is also different. But we there are a lot of things which are similar in this year as well. So let us say the consumer insights, triggers, and barriers. If you would see HUL Lime 12 case as well, they have given the same kind of structure that you need to come up with the right kind of consumer behavior, the insights or the triggers and the barriers of what triggers the purchase journey. So that is one thing. And last year, how it actually got very complex was the precision marketing, the term precision marketing. It is very new. Even our faculties could not help us go deep into the case, and that was the sole reason that we actually had to read a lot on Google and discuss with industry experts. So what was the case about? They wanted us to focus either on skincare or hair care, and in both the segments we had to map the consumer journey for each of these categories. We had to present the variables which actually segment the market. So when I'll be showing you my presentation, you'll get a better idea about it, the logic behind each of the consumer cohorts. So cohorts are like segments that you are making for let's say for Dove. So let's say one can be someone who is who keeps their hair very sturdy in a way that they are stylish stars. So we have actually made one of those cohorts. And then second are someone who actually do not actually care too much about their hair. So that's how you segment, or you keep it, you mention it as a hyper segment. So that is something that we had actually done. Finally, the unique message for each of the cohorts. So we came up with taglines like your confidence is your beauty. So you have to make these kinds of taglines which can actually align with Dove. So Dove is never about let's say in celebrity endorsement. Dove has an association with women empowerment. So you need to understand the brand to actually solve a case. So that was very important that we kept in mind when we presented our solution. I think I'll quickly move to the solution bit of it. And what we had to do was that minimum of 4 cohorts were to be made by us as a team. There should have been minimum overlap. Overlap means that the two cohorts cannot be overlapping, that the behavior is same, and then that cannot be there. And there should be a unique message. So that was it from the campus problem bit, and I'll quickly show you the solution that our team had presented. uh, so initial round was a 2 slider. Just a minute. Okay, that's fine. I have it in different folder too. Yeah. I mean, you are able to see my screen, right? Perfect. I'll quickly just check once that everyone is able to see my screen. Can you please put a yes if you are able to see? Okay, perfect, perfect. Great. All right. So, guys, there was a two-slider presentation that we had to submit in our campus round just for the submission. And moving forward, we had to, when there was a campus round in terms of the presentation, so we were told to present it in 7 slides. I was not able to open the two-slider, but that's perfectly fine. I'll try to share it in the end. Right now, we'll directly move to the 7 slider presentation that we showed to the campus round, or rather presented in the campus round. Okay, so firstly, for HUL, it is very, very important that you focus upon your research. Like they have mentioned this year as well that do not float just Google Forms, deep dive into what you're doing. If you'll see, we just talked to 30 women. So like we were three members in a team. Every member somewhere around 10 people we chose. The idea was that the women should be from different backgrounds. Like you cannot just float a Google form, or let's say you cannot just talk to your friends or family members. Our idea was that if we want to see what is the insight from, let's say, someone who is from a rural background, what we call them is SEC is social economic class. So we just put it there that, let's say, they are from A1 category, like tier 1, tier 2. That is how you segregate and get insights from primary research. That was one thing. Secondly, personal interviews. It is very important that, when you are not focusing on the breadth, you are deep diving. So if you would remember this year as well, on the at the time of case launch for HUL, Mr. Pratik Ved, when he launched the case, he said this very specifically, that do not go for width but rather deep dive. So when we used to discuss with someone, it was usually an hour long discussion. Like, what is the exact consumer journey? What are the pain points? Like, we got to know that, okay, there are a lot of women for whom the purchase of soap bar is not a very like, let's say, a high frequency and then high involvement product. So they just told that, whatever best offer is there, we just pick that, and then we see that if the fragrance is fine, and then we can go ahead with the purchase. That was a key insight that actually helped us making our cohorts. Insights, as we have mentioned, I think you would have also read by now, so I won't go into that. Second was the approach. So obviously we went for the consumer behavior first, and then there was ethnographic research reports. I'll be showing you some reports that actually helped us a lot. Those were from Google Trends. You can note it down, Google Trends. For any digital insight, if you want, just go for Google Trends and Consumer Barometer. These two are the tools from Google wherein you can get to know how Indians, or for, let's say, for any geography, how they are behaving on search engines. So you get a lot of insights. When we talk about ethnography, our team actually watched every Dove commercial on YouTube, be it national, be it international. Uh, this is a very important insight that I can give you right now. When you are participating, particularly in HUL, do not think yourself as a participant, but rather think yourself as a brand manager, like in the shoes of brand manager. When you'll think in that direction, you'll understand that you cannot go wrong in positioning Dove. When we were in national semi-finale, there was one team from one college. I won't name them. Uh, they actually made a plan wherein there was celebrity endorsements. Then they said that we have made one cohort for someone who is a sports enthusiast. It is fine, but Dove sports and Dove's association with sports may not be in direct tandem. So that was something that we do not want to go wrong. When we talk about ethnography, as I mentioned, what our team was doing was we ran through every comment that was there on YouTube commercials in a way that we can actually understand how consumers were associating themselves with Dove. So that was also a very important insight. And finally, we came for our cohorts. Quickly jumping to the cohorts. Yeah, consumer journey. Switching triggers. So this year case as well, if you'll see, they have mentioned what are the triggers, what are the barriers for whatever case you are picking up this year, and whatever brand you are picking up. It is very important that you mention the triggers. What do we mean by triggers? noticing the changings in skin, like from teenage to adulthood. There are a lot of acne, pimples. So that is a switching trigger for someone, let's say, who was using one particular brand before, and now they are moving to a different brand, let's say Himalaya Neem. So the kind of association that comes with the Neem product would quickly associate you to switch your current face wash if it doesn't have that kind of quality. Joins college again, that was also something that we got from, let's say, from our primary research, that if someone is joining a new college, there is a feeling that I want use some premium products. Married again, if someone has recently married, got married, and let's say they had a baby, again there are skin changes. So that's how we understood that these are the triggers that make someone switch from one brand to another. Why this is very important is that HUL every year focuses a lot on consumer journey, the barriers and the triggers. Whatever brand you pick for this year as well, it is very important that you focus a lot on this aspect. Okay, coming to the final idea that we presented, the care cohorts. The first one was natural is their nature. The idea was that there is so much talk about raw ingredients, natural ingredients, organic products, and this we got to know from Google Trends report. I'll be showing you that report, wherein you can see what, like, aloe vera has 11% search results last year. So that's how we got to know that we want to go for natural is their nature as a cohort. The second one was independent working women. Now the idea was that because there are working women who want some premium products, or let's say you know because they are always on the run. So that's how, or let's say they want some products which are anti pollutants. So we identified this as well in our primary research, and we gave them a message: let's break the rules of beauty. In our campus round, the jury actually appreciated for our cohorts as well as our unique messaging, because they said it is very similar, or some of them are actually copied as well from the previous Dove's campaign, because the idea was we want to align with what Dove really is. Third, definitely we wanted to target responsible homemakers, because again it is a major cohort or a major group of people who use soap bars, and they are kind of decision makers in the family, in terms of, like, they'll go for shopping and they'll be ultimately, even if they are not consuming the product, they are the customer of that product. And just wanted to give them a message that you are more beautiful than you think, because they would not spend a lot on themselves or their beauty, but rather spend for the entire family. Coming to our next cohort, it was inquisitive young women. Again, the idea was that they are having a lot of changes in their skin, and it is a big chunk, if you would say. So what we did here was, if you'll see, inquisitive young women and responsible homemakers, they are completely exclusive. Like, there won't be major overlap, even in the case of independent working women. But natural is their nature is something that will go horizontal. Like, they'll be, like, obviously independent working women can also have an overlap with natural is their nature. And we clearly mentioned this to the jury, that we felt that it is a major chunk, so a bit of overlap was there from our side. Yeah. uh, Last year TikTok was in a lot of buzz, and we presented a TikTok marketing solution. I'll show you the TikTok report in a coming slides. Next we move to hair care journey. So here also, our biggest trends that we could see was that people are moving to a lot of styling of hair. So that will also come from a report, and I'll show you. But how we made the cohorts for this as well. Natural is their nature was common here. Like, we could see that a lot of people are searching for best natural shampoo. And then we gave a unique messaging: real ingredients for real women. So the association was very strong, that you are a real woman, and you ought to use the ingredients that are good for your body. The next one is the status quo. So when we were talking to a lot of women, they said that they do not want to experiment a lot, because a time has come that they have seen that every shampoo or hair care product is somehow damaging their product, and if they are now satisfied with one product, they would want to just continue with that only. Unsatisfied anxious testers, now they are also unsatisfied and they are continuously testing various products, that which one would just work best for them. And finally the stylist stars. So we chose this as a cohort because we felt that a lot of people right now are moving to latest trends, and we gave a unique messaging of go play, Dove will take care for the damage. So that's how we made a lot of cohorts that were specific to let's say different kind of women. And then in the second round we had to actually present a marketing solution. We had to work on Facebook ads manager. In our is the case workshop, I had actually ran through the exact Facebook ads manager, but right now we won't have that much time. So yeah, I'll just quickly move to the reports that I had shown, because that will give you an idea. Yeah, here. So, year in search report is published by Google every year, but not many people know about it. So I thought that this is something that you can actually help you a lot. This is a common report, but for us, consumer products was on page number 35. Uh, so I'll just quickly move there. Banking and financial, like this just tells you the trends. So you can download this and you can use this report in any of the case competitions. So yeah, if you can see here, YouTube is an emerging beauty advisor, highest searches in hair care, skincare, makeup. So we used these metrics in our presentation as well. But what we actually learned was, uh, like if you can see in Rajasthan region, face powder is getting a lot of searches, hair loss in this region. So when we had to actually make a geographic plan, we actually referred to Google, definitely, because uh, Google is the best source who can provide us the digital trends right now. uh, Moving ahead, if I just want to show you this, international beauty trends are coming up. Korean beauty. So before working on this case competition, and specifically if we talk about HUL Lime, we really didn't have any idea that Korean masks are taking so much of consumer market right now. So this is how you actually get to know that what is coming up in these in the market. And yeah, so e-commerce, I do not want to go there. I'll show you the second report that helped us a lot. Skincare. So again, insights from Google. For this report, we had to actually talk to one of the digital agent marketing agencies. You can see the consumer journey is directly given here. So what we needed to map. There is a non-linear. There are non-linear moments in a consumer journey when they have to purchase something for their skin. I'll quickly move you where we got the ingredients for for our survey. Just a moment. Yeah, if you can see, 12% top ingredients, natural ingredients, were aloe. So when we presented our final solution in the second round for HUL, we actually mentioned that we would want to use aloe vera as our ingredient in the soap bar. And why? Because this is the backing, and that's how you quickly project that whatever you are giving a solution, it has a strong backing. Yeah, so that is it from the last year's HUL submissions perspective. Although we are not discussing the semi finale right now, but I just want to show you uh, how actually we went ahead with the creatives as well. Yeah, here. So if you can see my screen right now, we made this creative, and even this year HUL has asked that in the second round you will have to present the creatives and you'll be working upon your marketing. They give you Lime as a brand, so you cannot use any brand, and then this creative goes for approval before going online for the digital run. We mentioned the pricing as 39 rupees because 49 was the price for Dove moisturizing bar, and coming for from a new, like, because this is a new product, we felt that 39 is a good price. Now someone can say we can price it at 5 rupees also, because we just want more clicks, but that was not approved by HUL, so anyhow you could not use it. Clearly we are mentioning that we will be using aloe vera here, real ingredients for the real you. uh, there are three other creatives, but again, right now I would want to discuss the next round of HUL, like this year's case, because that is more important right now, and some key highlights which you should definitely remember when you are, solving HUL's case. Yeah. Okay. Before I actually talk about this, uh, so a lot of students reached out to me and my team that should we go for nutrition, should we go for hygiene? Again, I'm just reiterating, for HUL it is very important that you stick to the marketing A, and secondly, the more depth you cover, the better it is. Obviously the jury is smart enough to understand that you are just trying to present something, and that is why specifically this year they have actually mentioned that just do not go by floating the surveys. Like every year people just try to fake it. If you'll see our presentation, we never mentioned that we floated a Google form and just got 200 or 300 odd responses, because that's not how you'll be able to get the insight that you want to. uh, for HUL, secondly, one really important thing is, because finances, because students ask us that do we actually need to go into the finances, that we present our finances. I think for HUL, at least till the time they explicitly mention that you have to cover the finances, please do not go into that. So yeah. uh, Okay, we just quickly discussed the nutrition and hygiene that they have given. So this was actually discussed in the case launch as well, that they want to go for these two categories this year. So one of the questions that was asked to me was that should we go by the brand first, or like what particular brand should we pick and then identify the problem? Uh, Personal suggestion right now, because we actually had a workshop with RB Global team as well last Saturday, and they presented the solution which was on hygiene. Oh, sorry, on nutrition. So the idea is, try to understand the problem in the market right now. Uh, think from a perspective that you are a HUL brand manager, and obviously COVID has happened, and obviously there has been some hit on the financials for a company. Definitely there is, but for FMCG it can be a different scenario. But the idea is that if they are giving you a problem, like let's say nutrition or hygiene, rather than like let's say looking into 14 or 15 brands of HUL and then coming up, okay, that I might be wanting to go for Lifebuoy or Brook Bond label, and then identifying a problem, you should first look and survey a lot, research a lot of what the problem is in the market right now. So that will actually help you understand that, okay, this is perfectly fine, now I can map this problem with one of the solutions of or one of the product offerings of HUL. HUL has recently acquired Horlicks as well. So if you want to see from a child nutrition perspective, maybe you can go into that direction and see if that comes out to be a proper solution for you. So yeah, once the initial problem identification has been done, even they have mentioned first that identifying a problem that an HUL brand can champion. Obviously ultimately you are presenting a solution, so that has to be something that can be presented by HUL. Now again, students ask that should we be launching a new product, or should we be going by an existing product which can actually solve a problem? Here I can give you my example from my semi-finale round for HUL, wherein we were appreciated by the jury. what we did was, like for one of the cohorts, which was natural is their nature. uh, what we did was, we did not say that, you need to launch a new product which should have aloe vera as an ingredient. Rather than that, what we said was, Dove already has a product which is Go Rejuvenate. It is available in the international market, and why not launch it in India and position it in a way that is aligned with aligned with our offering. So the Dove Bar Go Rejuvenate has an element of pear fruit and aloe vera. So we just repositioned it, like from international market we brought it in India. Second was, Dove also has one of the products which is a cucumber bar. I'm yeah Dove refresh. I just forgot the name. It is in India. It is available in India, and again we said that why not position this to teenagers, because cucumber has certain advantages to fight acne, and it just needs the right kind of positioning. So this was something which was really appreciated by the jury. And if you are going to create any solution this year as well, understand from brand manager's perspective that, if you are just mentioning that, okay, we want to go for a new launch, it would have a great impact, on, like there is a lot of R&D that needs to go around. But rather, if you say that, we already have a product in the market, but if we are positioning it in a way which can actually solve a huge problem, I think that that should be something that should look upon. Having said that, I'm not saying that, you should not go for a new product launch, because these are unprecedented times. So definitely, if you are coming up with let's say, veggie wash, ITC has already launched washes for vegetable, like it is a liquid that can be used, and if you want, you can see the size of the market. ITC has launched, Marico has also launched, HUL has not launched as of now. The idea is, you can go for a new product, but definitely then there has to be a strong backing for that. So we'll not go for stage 2 and stage 3 right now, because you guys have the stage 1 and like the campus round. Last thing that I have mentioned, explore the stats. These are the key consumers, because with respect to hygiene and nutrition, definitely you will abroad for maybe your team members, you can invite, okay, we dive into the hygiene and nutrition problem in India. After that, you need to slice these down. Again, do not think that, you want to cover both hygiene and nutrition. Some were asking me that, can we do this thing that from one product we can solve two problems. Again, you may do it, but the idea is, it should have a strong backing. Personal suggestion: go for one product, one product and one problem at a time. Otherwise, you won't be able to cover every bit of it. Who is your target audience? So last year they asked us to identify the cohorts. Cohorts are nothing but your TG. So if you are able to identify the problem, and then who would be the target audience, you are good to go. It is something that HUL focuses upon a lot. uh, State the problem in a clear and actionable way. Again, so last till last year, HUL always had one slider or two slider presentations, but this year, because the format has been changed, you guys have to just submit a text. So I won't suggest that, you make any changes in that, because some were asking me that, can we add some graphics? No, that is not something that we would definitely recommend. uh, what they are also mentioning that, the text that you are putting there, it should be very clear that how you are going to go ahead if you are selected in the second round. Here I can give you an example from my nationals for HUL, and that we saw for last year too. If you are a participating team this year, it is a it is, I think, something that we would highly recommend, that watch the nationals of HUL on YouTube from last year or last to last year. When you would see the kind of questioning that is happening from the jury, you will understand the expectations of the jury. So one of the team from last to last year, they had presented on LGBT community, because the finale tagline, हम डिफरेंट हैं, अलग नहीं. So the idea was, obviously their sexual orientation might be different, but that doesn't mean that you need to separate them from the society. And that was actually appreciated a lot by HUL. And in this year, like when we had to present, even we used these kind of taglines, for our finale. We had a problem on plastic packaging, and we used a tagline, सुविधा सही सेहत सही, सुविधा नहीं सेहत सही, which means that even if there is certain kind of discomfort when you are not using plastic products, because obviously it is highly and readily available, there is less, but you want to prioritize your health as well, and your family health as well. So I would suggest and recommend that whenever you are making your submission, particularly in your communication plan, use these kind of taglines or marketing taglines, which can actually uh, pop your idea out. So yeah, that is something that we want to do. Again, I have also mentioned this to you. So this is something that is coming from me and my team, and we have mentioned this before. uh, we did not do, I think, more than 20 surveys till our semi finale. The idea was that we just wanted to go deep. That is how even we would recommend to you as well, that please do not think that you need to cover the width. Please talk in depth, in terms of you try to understand the background. When you're doing that, a lot of times what happens is you're not looking for one insight, but it just comes out, and then you're like, okay, this is something that I can use in my solution. So that is something that will help you a lot when you are framing a solution. Yeah. And look out for not just the problems that the consumers tell you about, but also the risk and latent needs. Okay, here I would want to give you an example, because last year we had precision marketing and digital journey mapping. uh, so I was discussing with an expert from precision marketing, and she told me that I'll give you a very basic example. If you will ask a consumer that do you binge watch Netflix, half of the people would not want to readily accept it, even if they spend, let's say, 5 hours a day. The sole reason is because there is a certain kind of bias that is created in their mind. So whenever you are you know uh, interviewing someone, you need to understand that the questions that you're putting should not lead them to their answers. The questions should be such that they are very neutral, because what happens is that, because you would have already started your research if you are a participant. So you start asking questions which you think are already somehow feasible. Let's say, if I can give you an example, last year when we had our plastic packaging problem from HUL for the finale, I found out that 8% of the total waste comes into ocean for like plastic comes from cigarette butt. Now, I felt that this is a huge number, and maybe we can directly go for this as a problem statement and our proposal for the solution, and then we can move ahead. And then we started asking smokers for the same. Then we got this feedback that whatever you are asking, this is already leading you to the solution, and you are already having that bias created. So your research should be your questionnaire should be such that you are not creating a bias in the consumer's mind. Yeah. And finally, the task 3, how you communicate this. Okay, so when you are prioritizing your task 1, task 2, and task 3, you need to be very sure that task 1 and task 2 are something which would be would be focused more in the campus round. Why we are saying this is because this happened with us as well. When we were presenting in our campus round, our whole marketing plan, like about the TikTok, about other channels, they didn't even mention it that okay, you have used this, it was great. Rather, the other four teams, they did not present any digital marketing campaign in depth, and that too was not discussed by them. But the idea how you are mapping the cohort journey, how you are mapping the triggers, the barriers, that was something that HUL appreciated, and the kind of positioning, like the unique message that you are giving. So it is very important in a sense that you definitely, your communication cannot go wrong. But if you have to prioritize your task, please think more on task 1 and task 2 for this round. HUL every year has a digital marketing round in their semi finale. I think in when you go to that round, your communication strategy changes, and because last year it was Facebook Manager, last to last year it was Google Ads. So you cannot be very sure which digital marketing tool they would be telling you to use this year. And let's say you were thinking that okay, because last year we were thinking that we would go for TikTok, and they just came up with Facebook. So your entire communication strategy would definitely change. So what we want to infer from here is that although your communication strategy has to be there, your task one and task two are more important. Okay. Again, when they are mentioning about the communication challenge, what is the current mindset of the target audience that you would try to change? So, as I mentioned, that obviously, firstly, you'll be going for the problem identification, nutrition, or hygiene, and after that, you will try to understand, okay, that is this the current mindset? And when you are trying to communicate the brand story, you have to be very sure about it. So, I can give you a keyword, like let's say I tell you life boy. The first thing that comes in my mind is that kid that used to come up in the advertisement, or secondly a rural kind of a background. Because if you would remember or if you have not seen, please do watch it. HUL launched a very beautiful campaign in Kumbh Mela in I think 2012 for Lifebuoy, wherein they imprinted that on a roti, that please wash your hand before having this roti. So it is a beautiful campaign that you can watch. And what why we are mentioning this is that your communication strategy should definitely align with the brand that you are trying to bring in. For Dove, obviously it is totally different. For Lifebuoy it is different. So please be very sure that you are not disaligning there, because again that would go totally wrong, and you do not want to do that. Again, I won't actually again go deep dive into this, because this is quite explanatory in these terms. For communication challenge, I just wanted to to make you guys sure that try to use taglines, or like I already mentioned, and do not deviate from the brand, like the brand positioning, because that is something that would directly take you out from the challenge. So yeah, I think again, just a moment. I think I have the format as well in which you have to present. But rather than spending a lot of time on this, I would like to ask you guys questions, because I can see there are a lot of people who wanted to ask me questions. So we are like now we are open for questions. So please, you can shoot questions in the question tab. Uh,
Just a point, Ayushman. So,
yeah.
did you showed the two slider presentation that you submitted last year in HUL?
Yeah, actually, I was trying to open it up, but somehow, but I have shown the campus round any which ways. Uh,
I'll try to show my two slider submission just to give an idea to the participants. Uh,
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, please.
let me present my screen,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
sure.
afterwards you can take the
Yeah. So,
please sharing.
meanwhile, students can post their questions in the tab so that I can review. Yeah.
So,
Amit, yeah,
yeah, are you able to see my screen?
yeah, it is just loading.
So even though like we myself and Ayushman have never compared our solution on Lime, but when I heard his ideas, I think we were on similar lines, and our solution was one of the it was the first actually among the campus emissions. So I would like to show that we use the hyper segmentation of, first of all, let's say we focus on female, and the age we kept a division of 18 to 40, and within that age range we divided the cohort into various subcategories, Mr. Santur, and we named them actually.
Amir, can you put it on a slideshow,
Yeah.
because students won't be able to see otherwise.
I was saying that within this age group of 18 to 40, we divided the cohort further into subcategories, and we named them actually to just to give a relevance or connection with the particular target group that is being asked in these years competitions. So we named Mr. Santur Dreamcatcher, and accordingly we defined their journey and their triggers and barriers. And again, going on to unique messaging, we put a content or tagline for every one of them. So, for example, for Miss Incredible, we kept it be like the gentlest snow. For a mother, we there is no better means of bonding than a mother doing her daughter's hair. Similarly, for skin cleansing, we again went on to divide the hyper segment the total demographics, and it was 18 to 35, and further we divided into sub ranges. And again, depending on the triggers and barriers, we came up with the unique messaging, and finally the precision marketing plan. So I just wanted to show this up to give you guys an idea.
Sure. And even my presentation is open now, so I think I can show them quickly the two slider before we move ahead with the present questionnaire. I'll quickly share so that you can just get an idea. Guys, are you able to hear me? Okay, okay, yeah, I can see now.
You're not sharing your screen.
Yeah,
Please
just
present.
yeah. I think now it will be visible. Can you see now?
Yes, yes, yes.
So if you would be able to see, first thing that HUL always says that do not make your PPT very text heavy. This is something that we have been told, like I have seen my seniors too when they were presenting. So we tried not to clutter it too much. And as I think in our campus presentation, I've already showed you these segments that we tried to cover. This was the template that was given by HUL. Like, you need to map the consumer journey, you need to map the variables, what is the cohort name. So yeah, this was a feedback I think that we received from HUL's mentors. I think before you actually start working on campus round, they come up for a workshop. Therein they just said that your cohort name can be fancy to one extent, but it should be understandable. Like if you are reading natural is their nature, they, there is a quick association that okay, and it might be something related to natural product or stylistas for that matter. So that is how we presented this. In the second one, yeah, here. So again, there is some this was not like this, but if you'll see here also, I have already explained I think, but we just wanted to show you, if you need to make a two slider, it can be put up in this way too, like you. And it was beautifully covered, it actually beautifully covered all our points that we wanted to show. Even after all this, we were told by the jury that if you would have wanted, particularly for our campus round presentation, you could have actually cut a few more pointers as well. So try not to be very text heavy, but rather in precise words how you can convey your message. So I think that is something that I just wanted to show. And yeah, we can now move to the questions part. I'll stop. Yeah, okay. uh, so there are some questions that we would definitely want to answer. Yeah. So Yash has asked for the repurposing of international products to the Indian market. Can we include that in the first round? Okay.